Good morning, everyone. Happy November. You are tuning in to the Teach Better Today morning show, where the Teach Better team gets to be live every single morning at 7 a.m. Eastern, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn, and also, dun, 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 as an episode of Teach Better Talk podcast. We appreciate all of you listening, and make sure to do something to better yourself today by screenshotting your podcast you're listening to, or taking a snapshot of Katie and I and posting it on social, just in case somebody that you're connected to, like a friend or family member, needs a new podcast to enjoy or a new morning routine. Katie, we should pause so they could do this screenshot. Should we look serious or really, really excited? Which one do you want?
Excited for sure. Ready, set, go.
We'll be right back. Good morning, everyone. I was in the mood jamming to that Teach Better song. It's just one of those days that's my jam. It's my jam.
Can I do what I personally love to do, which is this just in. It is officially November 1st.
Yes, it's November 1st. And I feel like at the beginning of the month, every month, I forget that the month has changed. Guys, none of us forgot it was November 1st because we all, first off, wanted to be done with October. And second of all, we all dealt with Halloween last night. So obviously it's November 1st. This is probably the month you're most aware of.
It's true. But
wait, January 1st, you probably also are very aware of.
Well, yeah, you're maybe aware of it at noon when you finally roll out of bed.
Oh, good point. And then is there any other? I think it's just January and November. You're very hyper aware that it's a new month.
Yeah. I think it's whatever happens the night before. December 1st, I feel like people they're like, oh, it's December, because you get close to a break, no. We only have 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks, but it's not the same as far as the first.
It's not the same. I feel like December starts the day after Thanksgiving. I don't know why November doesn't just go
to
that Thursday. It shouldn't. Yeah. I understand why it does. I'm not that moronic, but I just really think the day after Thanksgiving when you wake up should be November or December 1st. And it's December 1st, 3 or 4 days until December 1st actually comes.
It's true. I am going somewhere today. Can I discuss?
Wait, hold on. You are going somewhere today, but it's also on my calendar. So I feel like I'm going somewhere today, and I am very anxious internally about it because it's on my calendar.
Yes. So to fill you guys in, we have a client that is having an early release day today.
I hate the word client. You have to use something else.
Sorry, I'm just used to that's what we use on the team.
We have a school that we work with.
It's multiple schools. It's a district.
We have a district we work with.
Yes, we have a district we work with, and it's in Illinois. It's pretty close to where I live, so I typically am the one that goes. But because it is so close to baby Miglin arrival, Rae was on standby so she could drive down. But at this point, cheers, friends, I think I'm going to be able to go. But
don't jinx it. When you leaving the house, don't jinx it. I still have to go.
I know. I am at what point is it I just have to go? There's no Rae can't happen, because it's a 3-hour drive for you, and it's only 45 minutes for me. So
yeah,
it's good.
Essentially 3 hours before the training, you need to be am I going to make it 5 hours today, or do I need?
At this point, I'm okay. But so yeah, super excited. Gonna go work. We actually, this particular visit has been really fun to plan because you and I have been able to tag team, because you're actually taking the next visit in January while I'm still home. But just talking about next steps with standards-based grading and standards-based instruction and all that stuff. So it's just been kind of a fun thing, but it's also weird because it's my last school visit for a few months.
Wait, is it real? I mean, that makes sense. Is it really your last one? Because I mean, your due date's the 13th. So
right. This is literally it.
Wow. congratulations on your like last school visit before you're a mama of 3 children that are in front of you and crying.
I hope some of them aren't crying. I hope like 2 of them are independent enough, but you never know.
I mean, on some during some days, yeah, maybe.
Oh, that's true. I mean, they're still children. So yeah, that's
Maybe.
super fun. And it's November, which I also really love because people focus on what they're thankful for.
Oh, question.
Yes, you with the green background.
Yeah, somebody, well, not somebody. So we have a ton of members of our Teach Better Administrator Mastermind, somebody who comes
Mhm.
frequently, Jennifer. I was literally just talking to yesterday. And one of the things that she mentioned was wanting to like challenge us when November starts of doing like a little, like, she called it something creative. I don't have my notebook in front of me, but essentially like moment of gratitude for your school, brag on your school. She had a little alliteration. So like, sorry, I'm not doing it justice, Jennifer. Anyway, um, and I don't mean to be ignorant, but why is this month all about gratitude? Like, when she said that, I didn't know that November was a month that people shared their gratitude specifically, and
Yeah.
you did as well.
Thanksgiving.
I I know that Thanksgiving is at the end of the month. I'm aware, but so people show gratitude all month.
Yeah, I think that's just like they focus on what they're thankful for because it's Thanksgiving month.
I'm
Help me
totally
if I'm wrong. Am I?
I think you're right, but like Thanksgiving, I totally get it. Like around the time of Thanksgiving, people are sharing how thankful they are for one
But
another, sharing
can
gratitude.
you only be grateful for like 7 days in your head? Like, can't you be grateful for 30 of them?
I just sometimes feel like we put arbitrary timelines on things and an
Yes,
entire month. I'm
100%.
like, sure, if you're doing it for a month, you should probably do it every day. Why? Like
Yes, some people do.
most great people do. Let me tell you.
Right. I think it's a case of you're right. I mean, I'm not like negating that it's like an arbitrary timeline, but I do think that sometimes we as a society, and again, drop in the comments if I'm like totally off bait here with this, but I do think some people like we decide as society like this is a good time for us to refocus on something positive. So, like Thanksgiving, November, let's focus on things that we're thankful for, especially going into like what can be a stressful season with holidays and all of that and winter gloominess.
So
But if you're not thankful for 30 things, right? Like that's fine. That's a whole nother discussion.
this is not what I'm saying, guys. I'm so pro gratitude, thankfulness, all the things. And thank God it's November 1st so we can finally talk about it because I've been waiting for, all year for
Mhm.
November
I
1st to
bet you
begin.
got a long list, I'm sure.
Katie, what are you thankful for other than being besties with me?
How do I top that, honestly?
I mean, I would say your unborn child, but like I feel like it doesn't even do it justice.
That I have to save until it's born because I need something for that day,
Yeah, you
obviously.
need something for the 13th. Also, I'm just really excited that uh baby Rae Miglin is gonna have the same birthday as my grandma. I think they're so cute that they'll be twins.
They will be. I honestly it's pretty early, Ray, so I haven't given it a ton of thought, but I
Oh,
am just
so I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So really quick. So you can only be grateful in the afternoon because in the morning you're not grateful for anything?
like I just think once the sun comes out, I'll start being more grateful.
I feel like that I don't know that that's appropriate. I think
Mm,
that some people would say that even though the sun's not out, we can find things to be grateful for in life.
I'm grateful that Halloween was yesterday and I'm I just need more time. I need more time.
I'm grateful for my coffee this morning.
There you go. Cheers, friends. Do we have like some chips and guacamole or queso and something to talk about? Oh,
I
should we make a Thanksgiving theme now that it's November? I think we should talk about the mashed potatoes and gravy. Boom.
not the stuffing and green beans.
I mean, sure.
Okay, so I know that I'm gonna be canceled from this show, but I don't
I'm
really
pretty
like
sure
Thanksgiving.
we're both on our way out after the nonsense the last 3 minutes.
It's been almost 10, so good for us. I don't really like Thanksgiving food. I don't want Thanksgiving to
Okay,
be
wait, this will probably come up later, but no one in my household does either. And this Thanksgiving, because we'll have a newborn, we are not celebrating with extended family. And it has been the biggest debate as to what we will consume on Thanksgiving because I'm the only one that eats it. So here's my shameless plug, friends. If you live within an hour of where I live, if you want to drop off stuffing, pumpkin pie, mashed potatoes and gravy, like just bring it my way, because at this point, the number one thing that my family, again, in my house, want is pizza. Mm-hmm.
Pizza
Yeah.
on Thanksgiving sounds wrong. Yeah, I can't condone that.
Thank you. So
I just want a tub of mashed potatoes. I don't think there should be
gravy or no
anything.
gravy?
I don't need gravy. It's gross.
Can you get the teacher talk? Because I'm like getting more and more disappointed in
It's
you.
not called the teacher talk. It's called the team talk, Katie. Team talk segment starting now. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Teach Better Today morning show, where we are starting a brand new tradition. If you have not already dropped in the comments what you are grateful for the entire month of November, we will be live celebrating the Teach Better Today morning show, asking you to post what you're grateful for every single day in the comments. If we ever forget, don't blame us, but still put it in the comments because it's something important that you should be doing and that we should be doing. Today was coffee, which I feel like is cheating because I'll be grateful for coffee every day this week. But it'll be fun to come up with new things. So make sure, if you haven't already, throw those in the comments. There's going to be a lot of good ones. So hopefully there's some in the comments I can steal for tomorrow.
I'm thankful that I get to spend the first hour of my day with you.
I mean, you're welcome. I would say I was grateful that I got to spend the first hour of my day with you, but I already spent an hour and a half on a walk with my mom earlier. So like
Julie wins.
Yeah, so I'm grateful I got to spend the second hour of my day with you.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take sloppy seconds.
Yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of listener questions still here. So do we go through listener questions? Do you have a specific topic that you are looking for? What would you like?
Let's do a listener question.
Okay.
We've had a lot of guests that I think have been bringing some value. So let's do a listener question, but let's do a triple digit listener question.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I think we might want to consider a fun one and a serious one. I have two in front of me.
Bye.
Oh no, I just read one of the listener questions. It was, okay, this is a day late. We should have done this on the show a few days ago. This listener question was specific about Halloween costumes.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Sorry.
Wait, before we do any listener questions, friends, I need some help for this specific listener question, hopefully for next year. We have a listener question here that says, what are some good group Halloween costumes for teachers? If you saw a good group teacher costume over the last week or so, will you put that in the comments so that this listener can get ideas together next year? But we won't do that one because now it's not applicable. So sorry that we messed up.
Yeah. Good job, Rae.
I'm sorry. We have over
list. I have a whole
we have
list.
over 300 questions, and it's hard to go through all of them and know if they're time sensitive or not. I'm sorry.
All right, fair. Okay, fun one starts. Let's do serious one first. Serious.
Okay, serious one's right here. I'm gonna just pick this one. How do we get parents to understand the importance of helping their child at home? Work schedules can cause hardships for parents in helping their child, but not helping them is also creating hardship for their child.
Do you want to do the fun one? Just kidding.
Because it's all like this is hard. It is what it
This is
is.
a hard question. I think some context is helpful to knowing the age in which we're talking about, because obviously if you teach like secondary older students, being able to help them like navigate their lives at home and being independent and advocating for themselves is a skill that we need to teach students. So that is like kind of a separate answer. My guess is that we're probably leaning on younger students as the context of this question. I do feel like my answer like 8 years ago probably was different before having kids in the house, just because it was easier for me to like imagine what life is like when you have kids. And I don't know, I mean, you can maybe disagree with that, but I do feel like now we've got that our kids are like in school, we've got like activities, homework, and my husband and I both are working. Obviously, like a couple years ago, being in the classroom, my schedule looked a lot different. I think we have to be mindful of that. Every home and every home environment will look different, and a inactive parent doesn't mean that they don't see value in a child's schooling. And it's hard to sometimes understand that. And it's hard also to like figure out, okay, well then what? If you have a parent that works second shift and they're not there, then how do you help a student? But I do think we also have to remind ourselves, which we've said this before on the show, what can we control? And we can't control what happens at home. We really can't control that student's life outside of the school environment. And so how can we give them all of the necessary tools and resources so that they can still be successful when they have a parent that has to work? And we can't like fault them for that. You and I have had many conversations about homework and things that need to be done outside of school. And I know that this is like a hot topic, which we don't necessarily need to get into. But the reality is some parents have to work, and they may not want to, they may not like have any other choice, whether it's two parents, one parent, or maybe a whole handful of people. It doesn't matter. You can't control that. And so if you find that you are in a school that this is a hardship for you, parents are not active at home, then you have to control what you can control. And that's literally the 7 to 8 hours you're with that student. And you have to instill in them like some quality things. Like, I mean, even the nights that like we're busy, it's like, okay, you have to read tonight. Can you have a coloring sheet? Like, what are some things that you can give a student that they can be independent and do on their own and maybe still like learning or growing without the use of an adult? So, Rae, take it away.
No, I think you're spot on. I think having conversations with colleagues and students to understand what home life looks like is an
Mhm.
essential step as frequently as possible. And I also think that the suggestion of the 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 thing, whatever the thing is that you want them to do at home, should be something that either the student can work on independently or needs to be not content driven. Maybe it's more
Mhm.
reflection driven, where you want the child to do reflection with people at home, and they can use a sibling to do that
Yeah.
versus a parent or like they can use a grandparent or a neighbor. So I think utilizing the homework esque to be more reflection debrief focused can really help. The other thing I really feel strongly about, and I talked a lot about this when I think I did a reel on this question as well, or at least one like it, was the concept of you cannot blame people for doing things a certain way that you have not explicitly taught. So if your expectation in some way, shape, or form is that the parent, guardian, sibling, something is a part of the child's learning experience, that needs to be taught and retaught and evaluated on its success and then adjusted. And that needs to be something that is really something that you're going to dedicate some time to if you're going to put an importance title to it. So
Right,
lots
like
of things.
communicating in the beginning of the year, like, I'm gonna be sending stuff home, an adult will need to support them so that a parent can decide. Maybe they're not home, they can have a neighbor step in, a grandparent step in. Um, Also, I thought this was super interesting. Our kindergartner, her teacher sends homework home on Fridays, which at first I was like, Fridays. But her reasoning is, I think it's like due Tuesday. And she said so often that's when like families are able to connect is on the weekend. So and the homework is very much discussion based. So it's like, count the number of rocks on this and whatever. And so it's like been kind of nice that we have some time to relax about it versus like, only the 5 hours they're home at night. So if that is something you're still like, I really feel the value of them doing whatever the thing is, maybe change the timeline to accommodate families who weeknights is not an option.
I really like that idea. I like that implementation. There's so much to think about. I mean, even just, and I agree earlier, you said, oh, it's been a different perspective now that you've had kids. I think if you don't have a big household at home, maybe you live alone, maybe you have a partner, but you don't necessarily have children in the home, it is a different perspective. And we don't say that in any way, shape, or form it's not shameful. Like I haven't had kids in my home.
It's just honest.
Yeah, it's just honest. Like I haven't had kids in my home up until like the last year, 12 months of my life. So like this is brand new for me. And I think a practice that no one ever asked me to do, but would have been beneficial for me prior is looking at when the kids leave my classroom to an appropriate bedtime for whatever kids I'm teaching, looking at that amount of time and kind of going through as if I was a parent, what needs to be done in that time frame. Because I don't think I really I was always aware that there were like parents were busy when they got home, but as a single adult, I did have time to like put on an episode of a show and cook dinner and stop at the grocery store. Like I didn't quite understand the chaos. So as a teacher, if you go through just as a practice reflection for yourself to say, okay, kids leave my room at 3:00. They're probably home somewhere around 3:45 to 4:00. That's realistic. And that also means that some kids get home at 4:30, but we'll like start small. And then between then and like 7:30, we're talking about showers needing to be done. We're talking about dinner needing to be eaten. We're talking about the backpack being put down and needing to go through. The dogs need to be fed. Like just kind of brainstorming random things that either you do at home or things that you might assume that you really only have an hour or a half an hour. And that's only if they don't have an activity that they're already committed to as well. So some of that perspective is helpful to just consider. But I really do love the adjustment of the work being sent home, having a different timeline. And I really like the homework being looked at as more reflective or discussion focused. I think that's going to really help with any sort of instruction you're going to give parents on how to do that appropriately.
Yeah. And I would just continue to harp on control what you can control, not put the blame on other people, make adjustments on your end. And if you need help, like maybe you're someone who can, contributed this and you're like, yeah, but, and they've got a specific like element, reach out to us. We'd love to problem solve with this, situation, because we both were people who gave homework and adjusted and changed and, have kind of navigated now the parenting life. So it's a big spectrum and there's a lot of things to think about. And we're happy to kind of walk through with you.
Yeah, it's good reflection. Katie, are you saying that if they had a question, they could submit a listener question?
I was meaning like they could reach out to us specifically about this question, but you could also contribute a listener question.
Anytime, friends, reach out. Katie and I are always here to support you. We hope you're going to have an amazing day ahead. And when I say I hope you're going to have, I mean, I'm telling you already, today's actually going to be awesome. You just don't know it yet. And I'm so excited for you to experience the fun. Katie is going to wrap up this conversation and then go like sit on her couch and be grateful for 100 things. So excited to...
excuse me. I'm headed to a super awesome school.
I mean, are you really going to go? I feel like I might get a text after this live.
Well, you're going to let me just ditch out to go take a nap. Sure.
No, baby Miglin is not coming until later. Friends, we will see you tomorrow for Teach Better Today. Make sure to continue to have this a part of your morning routine and post what you're grateful for every single day in the comments through the month of November. We'll see you later, friends. Hey, Teach Better community. Thank you so much for joining the Teach Better Today morning show every single weekday at 7 a.m. Eastern. We have so many resources for you outside of this live stream at teachbetter.com, including blogs, podcasts, and professional development that will bring our team to your school. Wherever you are listening from this morning, please make sure you are sharing and celebrating the incredible educators in this world. And hey, if you are listening over on a podcast to Teach Better Talk, we would love a 5-star review. The comments are always so entertaining. We'll see you tomorrow.